What are ways to raise our frequency higher? Today, I can wear my hemp again because it's just so hot. This solar maximum, this heat that we have now. Anyways, I'm gonna go straightless on this one again. So Nikola Tesla says that everything in the universe can be understood as frequency and vibration. To think of everything in the universe as frequency and vibration. And cymatics is the study of visible sound and vibrations. It's like when they put sand on a plate, or they do it with water, like now on TikTok videos, and they'll pass a frequency through it, and you'll see very interesting and geometric shapes start to form. That is, we are water. So the same thing is happening to us, whether it be harmful or not harmful frequencies that are passing through us. The lower the frequency is of something, the more dense it is. Obviously, the higher the frequency, the less dense it is. We, as human beings, are at a frequency. The lower our frequency, the more sickly, depressed, unhappy we are. The higher the frequency, the more happy, loving, healthy we are as well. Things of high frequency have a way of infecting those things around it, anything around it. Whatever is around you will also be risen or raised in frequency that is around this higher frequency being or item, whatever it may be. And Veda Austin showed that with her egg example, where she had like an actual egg that was not from the market, bought with compared to an egg that was just organically gotten from a chicken, and freezing the chicken egg from the local, the homegrown chicken. The crystallography in the egg that was cracked was very syncretic and beautiful. And then versus the frequency, once frozen, to see the crystallography of the egg bought from the store was obviously destroyed. The crystallography was destroyed. It was very unsyncretic, whatever that would be. And then she just did a test, where an experiment where she put that egg, the natural egg, well, I guess nowadays with the GMOs, but an egg taken from an actual chicken that had grown happily, and placed it in a carton filled with regular store-bought eggs, and then checked the crystallography the next day. The crystallography of the eggs closest to the natural homegrown egg was much more syncretic and much more, it wasn't as good as the original egg, but it was much less worse off. So the egg that was placed in the middle, that was a natural organic egg, had affected and risen the frequencies, the crystallography of the egg surrounding it. So that is the same thing that happens to us human beings. Someone of a high frequency will also shed that to others around you. That's why they say you're like the people that you hang around, because you guys are exchanging frequencies all the time. Vibrations and frequencies are being shared all the time. So if they are higher, then you're going to become like that. And that's why they say, to spend time around people that are actually going to bring you up. That's pretty obvious. But illness is directly correlated to frequency, the lower frequency. If you have a low frequency, then that is a result of disease or illness. So if you're doing these steps, these different tools to raise your frequency and keep your frequency high, then you will not get sick. You literally don't get sick. I haven't been sick in over a year now, and you don't have to be sick. The illness thing is something that the medical industry that was formed by the Rockefellers in the 1920s told us. That wasn't always the case. It's not the case. So get that out of your mind. We don't have to be sick. We don't need to be sick. You won't catch a sickness from someone else. If you believe that you will, then you can, because your belief creates your reality. But if you believe that you are healthy, that you are of high frequency, and that you do not get sick, then you simply won't get sick. And it really is as simple as that. There's always beauty in simplicity. It doesn't need to be complex. And it sounds too easy to be true. It's because it's supposed to be. Simple is supposed to be. It's supposed to be obvious. It's supposed to be common sense. We think it needs to be complex for it to be this certain way because of how our society has molded us and taught us, and that is not the case at all whatsoever. So number one, ways to raise your frequency: simple things like daily affirmations, saying like, I am who I am and that is enough. Saying, I am full of abundance. That's another one. You can say as well as, I am always at the right place at the right time, because there are no coincidences. You plan everything out. It's all going according to plan. So you're just repeating and respelling that you are always at the right place at the right time, and it always works out. And it's all for a plan. This person you meet you haven't seen in a long time, it was all because you planned it out. It wasn't just a coincidence. And lastly, another one would be, I am full of love, and I am full of peace, and I am full of bliss. I actually picked that one up from Pam Gregory, the astrologer that I follow on YouTube as well. But it stuck with me. That's definitely one that I say every day. I say all these every single day as well, in the morning and before bed. And another one from her is also, I am welcoming in an expanded consciousness of love every single day. I say all these every day. I say many other daily affirmations because if you believe it to be true and you are thankful that you have it, then you will have it, and you do have it, because time is not linear. So the past and the future, you are in the present, you are present from what is your past, and you are taking what is from the future. So if you send to the future what you have, what you know you have, what you're thankful that you have, then you will have it. Second, one I've talked about a lot, high frequency water. So we are 99% by molecular count water. Yeah, we have all this other stuff, but by molecular count, we are water. We are just sacks of water. We are water, salt, and spirit. That's all that makes us up. We are water, salt, and spirit. So high frequency water, if you're drinking high frequency water, then obviously you're going to become like the high frequency water you're drinking, and your frequency will be higher. So examples of high frequency water is deep down water that's under extreme pressure, that is also highly alkaline. That's really good water if you can actually get your hands on that. Some spring water, if you know where the source of the spring water is, not just some bottled spring water. Screw bottles. Don't mess with plastic whatsoever. All the shedding of the microplastics in the water bottles, steer clear of those. An actual natural spring that you know of, like say in Florida they have a bunch of springs. If you know the water's coming from there and you can get a glass bottle of it, and go with that as well. And water, or lastly, water that you can raise the frequency of yourself. So ideally you have clean water that has been somewhat filtered, because there's so much TDP, total dissolved particulates, in all of water for the most part. If you're getting like city water, like unfortunately I'm in the situation of, but you can speak to the water and you make eye contact, because your energy flows where your attention goes. So your attention is on the water, and you're telling it, I am so grateful for you, dear water. I am so thankful. I am raising your frequency higher and higher, and I am so grateful you are also raising my frequency higher and higher. And I love you dearly, dear blessed water. And I am so grateful for you, and I bless you, and I love you, dear water. Simple things like that. You can just do it to a whole container, and then you're good to go. It's actually raising the frequency of the water as well. And if you think that that's just craziness, if you were to tell a person, give them a compliment, or say like, I love you, or you give them a compliment like, you look awesome today, you look really great, something like that, that will affect them. Something is changing. There's an energy exchange there. They feel differently, right? They're 99% by molecular count water, just like us. So you're affecting water. So same can be said about the water we drink. Number 3, eating high frequency foods. So obviously number 1, top highest, fruits. Fruits are water rich, and they grow abundantly, and that is the food of the gods. When you think of the Garden of Eden, you think of fruits, right? Beneath fruits would be vegetables. Vegetables are still good too, but you have to usually cut the plant and replant it and stuff like that. Fruit will just keep on growing endlessly and keep on bearing and giving. And it wants to be eaten. You can say, oh, you're hurting the feelings of fruit and vegetables. Okay, fruit wants to be eaten, because a lot of different fruits as well, they want to go through a dietary tract so they can get spread around. Because when you eat the seed, and then the animals, as well as us, not so much us anymore unfortunately, will spread the seed just by using the bathroom. So they want that process. They need the nutrients going through our digestive system, everything's digestive system, to help it get fertilized and spread its seed. So you're not harming the fruit. The fruit wants to be eaten because it gets spread that way as well, okay? You're not hurting the feelings of it. It's such a terrible, pathetic straw man argument. You'd be worried about the feelings, hurting the feelings of that. Now, the difference would be the animals. Yeah, they obviously have feelings, and they are also much lower frequency. Specifically dead meat. Whenever it's dead flesh, carrion, if it's dense, it's low frequency. That is as dense as it gets, meat. Not to mention all the problems that come with eating meat. But if we're just going on a frequency basis, these things are very low frequency. They're not water dense, they're not water rich, and they've been dead for long periods of time. That's dead, not alive. Whereas fruits and vegetables, when you're eating them, they are alive. It's the difference between eating alive and dead components. So yes, eating a higher frequency, especially fruits, king of all fruits, you got oranges and watermelons. They are the best. They are so delicious. They are so full of water. When you think of a nice orange or nice watermelon, it just, whenever you bite into it, it's just water everywhere. I mean, that's as good as it gets. It sounds so delicious as well. I mean, if that doesn't appeal to you, then you might need to make some changes, because that should appeal to you. That is as basic as it gets. I mean, that's Garden of Eden stuff. I mean, that's as natural as it gets. It's some delicious, delicious fruit. Number 4, choosing or looking for anything that gives you even slightly more excitement in any given moment. If, say, going to the swimming pool or watching TV, going to the pool gives you slightly more excitement, then you go with that one. Just slight difference, but you are slightly more excited for that one, then that will also raise your frequency. And that's very simple, but it's just saying to kind of like trust yourself. We have so much knowledge and wisdom inside ourselves, but we're kind of tricked that you need to go to college, you need to do all this stuff to learn it all from books. Not the case. Trust yourself. Go with excitement. Excitement is correlated to high frequency. So if you're going with the thing that's more exciting, then you are exciting yourself. You are becoming happier. You are happier in that state, happier doing that action. You're in a state of bliss sometimes as well. Then you are also raising your frequency. Simple as that. And lastly, number 5, a way to raise your frequency. Be out in nature. All right? Maybe you're busy and you don't have much time, but spend a little bit of time out in nature. There's a reason why it feels so good. There's a reason why we love these video games. If you think about it, like the Elder Scrolls, like these things are hugely popular. It's just one off the top of my head. And what are you in that game? You're not in a game playing a video game. You're in a game. You're out in nature. Shocker. We are so addicted to that subconsciously. We just don't know it. We can't come to grips with that because of our society around us, but we want to be in nature. We crave it. So being in nature will raise your frequency, because we are one with nature, even though it may seem hard to believe because of our society, the way we're taught right now, and this technology junk. I'm not saying technology isn't useful, but the way we depend on it so much is not useful. But we are full of so much bacteria, bugs, plants, all throughout our biome, gut biome. We are the same thing as nature, okay? We just look slightly different, but I mean, a tree doesn't look the same as a river. You know, they're different from each other. Things look different, but they're all still nature. We are nature. Spend some time in nature, some appreciation for how beautiful some trees look, and may as well knock it out barefoot. No reason not to be barefoot. The grounding effect, the healing effect of grounding is almost indisputable at this point. I mean, I don't know how it is disputable, but I mean, the way it makes your blood flow more evenly, faster, to which faster blood flow, more healing all throughout your body. No reason not to do that as well. Yeah, being outside in nature, in wonderful sunlight as well. Sunlight, we know seasonal depression happens whenever they don't have sunlight. Being in sunlight will also raise your frequency. Outside, in nature, in sunlight, preferably barefoot, you're talking about raising your frequency, being higher frequency, being happier, and healthier. as well, also correlated to higher frequency. So those are 5 ways that you can raise your frequency and should be practicing. They're all pretty easy, and there's no reason not to do them. Catch you on the next one.